They found him face down in his waffles. Maple syrup dripping from his fake well. Who did he see when he...
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, April the 12th, 2022. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always. Well, as recently as always, is Mr. Matthew Potensky. What's up, Matt?
I am not a samurai, but I am.
You are not. You are not a samurai. Dave is once again on assignment. He's on his way to Italy. He'll be if you're a fan of the if you're watching this live and you're a fan of the Beer Samurai page that he has, make sure you check out something. He's probably about 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. He's going to be doing a live feed quickly from allegedly, I should say, from Schneiderweiss in Germany. So he's got a 5-hour layover, 6-hour layover in Germany. So he's going to be stopping there, pissing me off. But anyway, we'll post it on the on our Facebook too, so you can check that out.
Before he starts cheating on beer with wine.
Exactly. Yeah. No, then he gets to Italy. He'll have a couple of beers, but then it's going to be all about wine at that point. So, but he will be next week's show. He'll actually be broadcasting live from a brewery in Italy. So that'll be interesting as well. So anyway. So anyway, how are you this evening, Mr. Potensky?
Pretty good. I'm doing really well on April 12th, which is apparently National Licorice Day. It
is National Licorice Day. Happy National Licorice Day to everybody. And also, hopefully not at the same time, but it is also it's also National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. Not Grilled Cheese Day. Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. So, yeah, specifically get the sandwich in there too. You got to get it right. So anyway. Hopefully not eating those at the same time because that would kind of suck. But
does not sound like a very good combo. But I'm sure someone will put it in a beer sometime soon.
I'm sure it already has been in a beer. Well, I've had licorice tasting beers and I've had pretty cheesy beers too. So put them together and there you go. Anyway, so I'm thirsty and we should bring in our guest before we actually pour our beer. So what do you think?
Sounds good.
That's good. Okay. Welcome to the show tonight, Mr. Doug Phillips. There he is. From, we can say it now, Wild Air Beerworks. There it is. Wild Air Beerworks. We had Nick on the show a few weeks ago with me and Matt, but we couldn't really talk about Wild Air just yet at that point because it hadn't been announced. But it was a hush-hush thing. But now it's out in the open. It's been announced. So Doug is here tonight to tell us a little bit about it. So let's start with our beers because I'm really thirsty and it's been a long day, so I could use one. So Doug, what are you drinking while I pour?
I got a little bottle of one of my favorites, Three Fonte. This is Ode Goose, the Golden Blend, 2011.
Very nice.
It's an oldie, but it's a goodie.
Oh yeah. That's there's nothing wrong with that beer, that's for sure.
Pop her open.
Yeah, pop her open and
no, I love it.
It's a good looking beer right here.
That is a beautiful looking beer. What do you got there?
So in honor of Dave, I am having an Italian style Pilsner, which is called Escusi.
There you go.
From Civil Society in South Florida.
Escusi, nice.
Very nice. Escusi. Italian Pilsner. In honor of Mr. Samurai, who's on his way to Italy. And actually, I believe he was at Civil Society a few months ago on his annual Florida trip. I'll take my obligatory picture of my beer here. And my beer tonight, in honor of Last Wave, because Last Wave is the parent company, if you will, of Wild Air Beerworks. I'm drinking a State of Stoke, Last Wave's Kolsch. So,
nice.
Gentlemen.
So yeah, cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Cheers. There you go. Clink. There you go. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So let's get this show on the road, so to speak. Doug, we're going to start off by asking you the question we ask everybody. What was the first that you can remember? What was the first craft beer you ever had?
The first craft beer was probably Sierra Nevada.
Hell yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
It's a good solid one. Absolutely.
Like legally? Yeah, that was probably the first.
Legally?
We don't mind about that.
we don't mind. I mean, hey, it's what it is. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
illegal now, so if you tasted
Mhm.
something before you were 21, what does it matter? But in any event,
But it was
most
legal in
everybody.
the country, so it was.
Well, this is true. This is true. That's always fair.
Yeah.
Cool. What first got you in other than drinking the Sierra Nevada or any other beers you drank? What first got you into the industry? What first made you say to yourself, you know what, this is for me. I really want to brew.
When I was up in Vermont, I went to school, a small little state school there,
Mhm.
and got into big beer scene there. And when I graduated, Carton had just opened up,
Mhm.
and I was working locally around there. And obviously, I think I was drinking Switchback at the time in Vermont, which was a great beer.
Sure.
Still is. I don't know if you guys like Switchback, but still solid beer in my opinion.
I've been to Switchback a couple times. Yeah, it's definitely solid beer.
Yep. So, crushing Switchbacks, I was like, oh man, like how do I cut a third of my spending out? but but seriously, yeah. I mean,
I
obviously,
like
I
that.
love craft beer. But yeah, I love craft beer. It's like big part of my life. So
Sure.
basically, when I was up in Vermont, that's really opened my eyes. That was, I think when I was drinking the Rainbow Trout was like one of my favorites, and that was, I think, Sean Hill was brewing there at the time.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was a really good beer in my opinion too back then.
Nice.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's for sure. All right. Well, you know what? Let's go on from there. What was your, clearly, let's just jump right into what was your first actual job in the industry. You kind of foreshadowed it there.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did that. Yeah, so Carton was the first professional job. That was about four years or so, and did a lot of that was 2011, and that was a lot of fun. Good times. Obviously you guys know Augie. Um,
Sure.
Industry was growing, very young at the time, so learned a
Yeah,
lot.
Augie opened up. There was what 9, 10 breweries in New Jersey now.
Yeah,
Upwards of 140 now. Yeah. So
yeah. It's awesome. No, I'm all for it. It's
absolutely.
definitely, we have tons of people in the state, big demographic.
Hmm.
No reason why more breweries can't open up. So
That's for sure.
I'm all for
That's
it.
for sure. As am I, and I'm sure Matt will concur as well. So plain and simple. Yep. There you go. So you brewed a carton for about 4 years. Yeah, and those I'll concur with you as well. That was definitely some fun times there while you were there, and still is up there.
Yeah.
But while you were
Oh
there,
yeah, for sure.
it was a blast. And then you moved on from there, and went to.
Yeah, I went up north to Demented.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Yeah, you brewed at Demented for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I was up there and then left there, and then I did my contract brewing under Fresh Flavors for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
COVID kind of put a stamp on that for me for a bit, so it was a little tricky during COVID times. I was mostly draft then, so I didn't do anything in bottles or packaging.
Right.
So that was, once that kind of happened, I was like, it kind of changed everything. The laws kept changing, so
Yep.
it was pretty tricky times. And then obviously the Last Wave guys, they came and approached me about a month ago or a month and a half ago, and I was kind of blown away that they were able to secure that spot from Steven, but
Mm-hmm.
they closed the
Yeah,
deal, and
it was a shame that had to happen that way. But more power to
yeah, no, I know.
what's going to go in there, what's going to happen in there, though. What you're doing, so yeah, Matt, you were going to say something.
So let's back up for just a little bit. So obviously Carton and Demented were kind of more generalist. You were brewing a lot of different styles, things like that. Talk a little bit about like what was the goal of Fresh Flavors, or what was the focus? Again, and this was your baby, so like again, it speaks to like what you like to brew.
Yeah, it's I was making kind of very approachable beers, sours, and I was doing some nice pale ales. I had some barrel aged stuff, similar to what we're going to be doing out Wild there. So I'm kind of excited to be able to do that full time and commit myself there.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. It's like I kind of, it's like, you know, a key and a lock. It's like you guys fit together so well because they want to do exactly what's like right in your wheelhouse, basically.
Yeah, they want to do some sours, they want to do lagers and some, you know, pale ales and some very approachable beers, and cool ship is in the works, so I'm excited about that.
Very
Bert
nice.
was talking about that the other day. Yeah, pumped. I know they're getting the fooder, so the fooder is going to be coming in. So there'll be some like a big, either whether, you know, you do like a Solero or something. We're not sure yet what we want to do yet, but we'll be doing like a consistent like house sour and then like a house culture, which is what like this time of year right now is perfect for cultivating, you know, some wild yeast. So
that's awesome. Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, Matt's absolutely right though. It just kind of fit perfectly together with what you were doing with your baby, with fresh flavors, and what you know, Nick and Bert want to do at Wild Ale. It was you know, it was like meant to be, basically. It just, you know, came out of it.
It was kind of like when they approached me about it, I was like, kind of like, oh man, this seems too good to be true, because me and my wife, you know, we recently bought, so we're right near Asbury, so we're down the street, so it's super close for me.
That's awesome.
It's kind of like a perfect little match.
That definitely.
And obviously the equipment, you know, I was in there all last week, so I did a lot of cleaning, but you know, everything, you know, it's a nice little 7-barrel Deutsch system. Pretty slick system. So excited, just doing a water profile test on it and just going to dial some stuff in. We were doing little test batches. So yeah, just already? Excited, just pumped it. Oh yeah, once I got the keys, yeah. Just doing like the test batches and the water profile. Yeah, I already started doing all that last week. So
nice.
Basically, hopefully this week we'll do like a dry run on the system. So
we said if you need any taste testers, I'm sure we can volunteer. So
we can handle that for you. Yeah. We're more than happy.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys are going to be like a town over, so well, definitely.
Exactly.
For sure.
What when do you plan on opening up?
So I mean, at this point, I think it's just really up to the transfer of with the state. So I think it's hopefully June to July time frame.
Yeah. Think about, obviously it's because all the equipment's there, right? And the permitting and everything else is just transfer and ownership and so forth and so on.
Yeah, it's just
think about how long it takes to open a brewery, and you know, we
kind of
know
it's minimum of a year at least, you know.
And this is like months. It's great, you know.
All the supply chain BS that's going on now, and everything is just making stuff like longer and longer though. So it's, you know, it'll happen, but we'll figure.
There's a lot of red tape.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
A lot of red tape and a lot of other color tape too. Just a lot of tape, a lot of sticky stuff, just to, you know, keeping things holding things back. But yeah, no, it's refreshing. No pun intended. And I spell refreshing REPHRESHING.
Nice.
To hear that, you know, it can go that quick. You know, that's awesome. That's working that way, and we're absolutely excited to, you know, come up and hang with you as soon as you guys are open. That's for sure. So
you said something
like, for sure. I mean,
oops, sorry. No, I was just saying. Do you have so did you say like you're gonna have some core beers? And then you're probably going to just have a lot of like rotational type stuff or seasonal type stuff, or, you know, like what kind of portfolio you guys are really looking at, or that's still in the works. You know, it's pretty.
No, Bert has a pretty big tap list. He already, you know, has an idea of what a lot of stuff he already approached me with. And then we've been talking about recipes and building some stuff and doing things.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, there's like 16 taps, I think, or something there right now. So I know we want to like
tap system.
Yeah, so I know like we want to. I'm a big fan of like slow pours. obviously, especially for the lagers.
As are we.
So we might change out some. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to definitely maybe change some things up a little bit in there, like we were talking. But yeah, it's we're gonna be doing a lot of seasonal stuff. I know a lot of like more tasting room focused. Um, and then we'll be doing bottling and canning too, even so.
Nice.
We'll be doing a little variety of everything. Whether if it's like we'll do a traditional flagship beer. I mean, I'm actually not too sure.
Is there going to be any crossover from last wave, or are you guys keeping it completely separate? Like there's one's not going to affect the other, or for the matter of Wild Ales infect the other. So.
No, I mean, like for like what they want to do there. No, it's like a totally different approach.
Two separate animals. One's not going to have. One's not just the influence or it, but just like crossovers. I mean, is there going to be any? Is there going to be any reference to Wild Ale by Last Wave, or hey, at Last Wave go over to Wild Ale and that kind of a thing? Is there going to be like a mini little marriage kind of thing there, or is it?
I'm sure there'll be some cross marketing,
Right.
So
that's my point. Yeah.
I was gonna say I think it is a marriage. I don't know. I guess it.
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
Quite literally.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they'll be doing some cross promoting, if that's what you mean, or doing some events. But I don't, I'm pretty sure there's, keeping it separate in a sense of like not being brewed by someone, or if that's what you mean.
Right.
Like they'll be brewed by Wild Air. You know what I mean?
No, not anything like that. No, I just meant like cross promotion. If they're, maybe a couple of like in-house collabs kind of thing. Like if Bert comes up and brews with you, it's a Last Wave Wild Air collab kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's Bert's company, so it's
he can slap whatever name
he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, exactly. he can put his name on it. That's. But yeah, no, I'm pumped to start making like a bunch of cool strains that I've been playing around with, and I know that I like, and just building like a nice good saison culture.
Cool.
So.
And I'm assuming that you guys are probably going to do some longer term projects, with leaving stuff in barrels for a while and things.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
that's exactly right. We'll be we're getting that foeder. We're going to be doing some barrels. I'm a big fan of punch-ins, obviously, just because you get a little more volume and less oxygen, but you still get the wood and it's not as crazy big.
Nice.
But yeah, we'll be doing definitely some long-term stuff. I doubt we'll be making anything like crazy big AVB beers, but I'm always open to anything. From my past, I can brew basically almost anything.
That's awesome.
And that's what we're excited about, is to explore the new stuff, like things that we haven't been able to do, or people explore as much. So I got a bunch of cool ideas and traditional brew methods and some ways we can do things, and just having fun with it too. So
local ingredients, or like New Jersey products, fruits, or things, or
yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys know Rabbit Hill and like some other places.
Sure.
Local maltsters and using New Jersey hops, and you guys know the Fur Farm folks.
Of course, yeah,
people like that. So
very cool.
How big a food are you guys getting?
I think he was debating still which one to get, but I think we're probably going to get the 15 barrel.
Gotcha.
So we have a 7-barrel system, so we'll probably like a double brew into it. Yeah.
Double into it. Yeah. Gotcha. Cool. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah, I love. Yeah, you don't have to convince me about using a foeder. That's for sure.
Foeder be right. It's exactly. You gotta love them.
That's for sure. Cool. So how how should I say this? How much do you want to actually, how can I say this? Like, do you want to focus more on, obviously, I know, it's obviously you have to brew it, but they want to dictate, and it's a collaborative thing, I'm sure. But, would you are you going to kind of lean more towards Wild Ales, or more towards some more approachable pale ales and lagers and that, or kind of a 50-50 kind of split?
Oh, that's a good question.
Why I asked it.
That's very good. Obviously, we all know what kind of sells. The hops obviously sell.
Sure.
There's no debate in that. I mean, I'm sure you guys know that. But we'll see. I mean, I know we'll obviously be keeping the lagers and like pale, like maybe like a nice good pale ale, like a Brett pale ale, something like that on
Nice.
tap. Maybe as like a flagship per se, or something seasonal like quarterly or something like that per se.
Nice
But
little Brett pale ale is always a nice thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's definitely one of the first things I want to do.
Right.
You got to have that pumpkin spice
Yeah, nice
sour.
solid Brett pale ale is always good.
Yeah, the pumpkin spice sour Brett pale ale lager.
Wait, say that one more time.
I said, you got to have that pumpkin spice sour in the fall, right?
Oh yeah. So it's gonna eat the corn of the like the peppercorn, and like the Brett will actually eat it and dry it out. It won't have any spice left.
No spice whatsoever. Just pumpkin meat and
the Brett
and Brett.
will eat all the pumpkin. It'll eat all the pumpkin.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I don't think we're gonna.
That's the way to do it.
I hope we don't make a pumpkin beer.
Yeah, like probably like a lot of like dry hops, light sours, and things like that. So not really true IPAs, but
yeah, very yeah. I mean, I'm open for everything, but like nice, delicate, light, effervescent beers that are just very approachable, but still very balanced, and
I like
you can
that.
drink them. I love my sours. Obviously, it's like some people are like, oh, I can only have like a half a glass. I don't want to really pump out the slushies. So I don't want to per se do.
Yeah, something told me there wasn't going to be a slushy machine on your counter. So
we
No,
were joking a bit with Bert, like, and Nick the other day. We're like, like we want to change our our slogan to like beer flavored beer. It's the new thing.
Right. Tastes as beer.
No,
it tastes like beer.
I know.
Yeah,
it's gotten crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
Sure.
I mean, I'm glad that you guys are going to do more of like the traditional, in a sense, effervescent, like light, easy drinking stuff. I'm thinking Suarez, stuff like that, and not like crazy, fruit puree sours. That are.
Yeah. I would prefer not to use lactose personally. I mean, I know people love them. I mean, I wouldn't say that they don't make some good beers, but I try to stay away from.
Yeah, I mean, there's
non-fermentable foods.
There's enough lactose out there, and it has its place, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's
exactly. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm just not.
Absolutely.
I'm not a fan per se.
Gotcha.
Sweet, peat, and heat. That's what I try to stay away from.
Can you get like other grain? What kind of grains can you get from Rabbit Hill though? Can you get like some weird like oddball stuff like spelt or things like that, or like you plan to do anything like that? Like do little kind of different. Rustic...
Yeah, no, I definitely would. I want to use more like even like like natural like using the natural foliage and all the stuff you can. Yeah, there's like tons of stuff you can use. When I just came back from Alaska a couple weeks ago, I got this nice book. It's like brewing with like wide foliage, and it's like just all these things you wouldn't expect that you can like use and cook with, and that was a big thing that Augie always did, was like always using food, so it's always a good way to like extend, that kind of aspect in the beer.
Sure.
So I'm always looking at like cool ways to incorporate wild things and stuff like that.
So
you definitely spent some time in Belgium, and like obviously that's kind of where a lot of the wild ale tradition started. Do you want to speak a little bit about experience with Belgium, or?
Yeah, I've been there twice. I had a blast. the first time I just kind of went to the public brew day at Cantillon, visited some breweries, made some good friends, made really good friends with the Stockholm brewing guys. And then the second time I went back, my buddy Joel, who I made friends with, he's brewing at Brasserie de la Seine at the time. So I got to brew there, and then he got me to brew it with Jean on a private day at Cantillon, which was really awesome.
That's awesome.
And then I went to Sweden and brewed at Stockholm with those guys at Stockholm Brewing. And then my buddy Joel now opened up Brasserie de la Mule. It's a brewery in Brussels. So if anybody's gone to, I think Tom I just saw from up, Tom is going to Belgium. I think he's leaving in a few days. I don't know. You guys know Tom, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. So I was going to say here's we're going to pose a similar question to that first one. Since you love the wild ales, like what was the first wild ale, like sour beer that you had that like you were like, oh my goodness, this is my jam?
Ooh. I want to say it's either Cantillon or Trois Fontaines. It's when you could just buy them on the shelves back in the day. It was so nice. So it was easy to get.
What shelves were you shopping?
Oh, they were around. You'd be surprised.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Like 2008.
So that was the first. So that was the first. Those were the first wild ales you remember having? That turned you on to wild ales?
I mean, that was like, yeah, that or probably Russian River when I was in California.
Sure.
I spent a lot of time out in Squaw Valley,
there you go.
so I probably had some stuff from them. But yeah, I mean, because when I was in Vermont, it was like you could get there was Cantillon all around at that time. It was easy to get.
Nice.
So,
that's cool. Very nice.
Like when I was there in
I'm
college.
gonna open my second beer, which is another lager, but it's a OEC, and it's a Cool Ship lager.
Oh.
Which I thought was
I love OEC. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a great setup.
There you go. And as he does that,
I love how they. What's that?
No, go ahead. You love how they.
No, I just said how much I love them. They're like they got like an amazing garden, like indoor everything. It's like greenhouse. It's like it's pretty wild what they're doing over there. And then obviously, you know, they had like barrels underground, like they were doing when I was there. I was like, oh man.
It says Cool Shipped and open fermented.
Like in the dirt, like
Cool Ship, yeah. Cool Shipped and
yeah, they got that little like it looks like a sink, like a tub almost, like a big like it's not like a traditional Cool Ship where it says like wide, but it's like a room. It's really cool. And then they open ferment.
I was gonna say it's both a Cool Ship and open fermentation.
yeah, and then they open ferment, which is awesome. I mean, it's probably top cropping like crazy.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll open my second beer too. I kept it local. Bradley Brew Project. I'm having their premium. That's an ESB.
Nice. Yeah, they're cool. I was just over there a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I think that Cool Ship beer is also a decent segue into top threes.
I believe you are right. I was just about to do that as I finished pouring this beer. Of course, I got to take the obligatory picture. So, you know, I got to check in on tap later. So, pardon me while I.
So this is a.
Do that.
You can see it's a color beer. Kind of got a little bit of haze to it. It's nice. It's a good looking beer.
Nice. And this is the CSB. It's got a nice color to it. Pretty tasty. So, cheers.
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 Oh, it's nice. Very tasty. All right. So on that note, you mentioned before, between the Cool Ship and Wild Ales and everything he did over in Belgium and the Cantillons and everything else, we figured for our top three this week with Doug on the show, we would do top three favorite Wild Ales. Top three favorite Wild Ales. And of course, next week when Dave's on the show, we'll just ask him what his three are because, you know, if he weren't on his way to Italy,
He'll have like 7 though. You know,
He'll have 7. Yeah, he'll have 7. I have 5.
There's so many. It's not
yeah.
even
He gets
fair.
these honorable mentions. It's like, no,
He's
dude,
got like
stick to
he throws it for his top 3. He throws in 5 honorable mentions, so he's got an 8. You know,
Yeah, it's like I'm just gonna throw in brewery names. Like,
there you go. So, all right, Doug, why don't you kick us off? Give us your top 3 wild ales, favorite wild ales.
like American Wild Ale or was
Anything.
this, like,
whatever you want, man.
Whatever you want.
Whatever. I mean, I'm a big fan of Three Fonte, and then Canton, obviously,
Mhm.
and then
What's your favorite Cantillon beer? Just out of curiosity.
favorite ever.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Well, I just put you on.
we tasted some stuff when that day. It was amazing. Brew day. We was just pulling nails. We were like, it was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole level there.
I'm gonna say my favorite actually though was Joel came for my wedding from Belgium, and he brought not a Magnum. It's the bigger bottle. I don't know if you're familiar, but he brought a Magnum too of Cantillon, but he brought the even bigger one.
Jesus.
I don't know. It's a champagne name. Yeah, it's what's it called? Jeribal? What's it called? A Jeribal or whatever. I'm so bad. Can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Jerry Bomb. There we go. God, blame it on something else. But yeah, that's probably my favorite, and that was just like the goose. Just the classic goose is so good. But yeah,
gotcha.
I love the goose.
And you have a third, or you want to stick with those 2?
I mean, the third, we'll go with
Three Fontaine and Cantillon. Say you want to throw in another.
I mean, obviously, I love Hill Farmstead beers. They're always good. Suarez is up there.
There you go.
Casey makes some of the best fruit beers in my opinion. I don't know if you can get anything from Casey Brewing stuff, but they make some really good fruit beers.
Nice.
But yeah,
that'll work.
I mean, obviously, that's the classic, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to mess with.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to beat those.
It's kind of hard to beat those. Yeah, no, that's for sure.
They have all the tradition and the years of experience, and it's it's just their whole ecosystems that they build there in those breweries. So.
Yeah, exactly. Their beers are usually just so fantastic.
It's amazing. Yeah, Matt, what are yours? What's your 3?
All right, so this is interesting because I broke it down 3 ways. So I have pretty much my favorite sour or wild ale in the world, and that's Duchess de Borchna. It's a Flanders Red. It's probably like the dictionary definition of a Flanders Red, but I like the acetic kick. Probably for an American, Lost Abbey Cuvée de Tommy. So that's kind of like again like an Ode Bruin style, so more of an acetic sour, but it's got the cherries and it's aged in a bourbon barrel, so it's got a lot of stuff going on. But really love the profile of that. And then I have my third one will be New Jersey, and it's the Referend Beer Blendery. I know they've now moved to Pennsylvania, but when they were here, I had a sour from them called Koff, which is Nyeri Tarandundu, which is basically it was a sour with a coffee from Kenya in it. And in my mind, I never thought to put coffee in a sour beer. Like to me, that was I couldn't really rectify it like that. To me, that would be like that's weird. And I had it, and it just blew my mind because I was like, wow, this is like flavors I never would have put together in my head, but drinking it was like it just impressed the hell out of me. It was like this is so cool and such a unique thing that I would have never put together on my own. So
I can imagine. That sounds amazing. And it's I mean, you know what? Yeah, they left Jersey and they moved to Pennsylvania, but they're not that far. It's like another 15 minutes.
They'll still make great stuff. So
absolutely. So all right, I'll give you my top 3. I'm gonna take a little slice of Dave because he's not here. So I'll give you 5. So I'll give you 2 honorable mentions. Now, really quick, and all of mine are going to be. You know what? I knew Doug was going to go with Cantillon and Three Fontaine and everything else, and Duchess is.
I mean, what else am I? What are you all going to lie?
Of course. No, I don't want you.
I can't.
That's why we let. Yeah, that's why we let you go first. So you can.
We let you go first, but I don't want to. I don't want to repeat. I don't want to sit here and just repeat yours and repeat Matt's. And, so that's what we do.
I could.
No. It's fine. That's what we do. That's why we do it that way. I'm just saying I don't want to.
That's why we do it that way.
We do it that way so we don't repeat, and it gets a little bit more exposure for other things and some other flavors. So, but I'm going to give basically all American here, basically. A couple of honorable mentions really quick from Trillium. Raspberry Soak was a really tasty wild ale he did, and Allagash Little Brett. That's why I mentioned it a couple of times before. You kept saying you're going to do a Little Brett pale ale.
Oh yeah, that's a great beer.
Their Little Brett is a great beer. Yeah, it really is. So those are my honorable mentions. But my top three are number 3 is Avance from Allagash as well. It's a 9.5% wild ale. That's a crazy good one. Lost Abbey Framboise. Framboise d'Amorosa is very, very tasty. And my number 1, and you mentioned Russian River before, Consecration. That's
yeah. I almost drank that today. I had one. I was gonna.
When it comes to American wild ales, that's my number 1 right there. Consecration. Yeah. It's and there's nothing beating it. It's just so good. And the black currants in that. It's just such a good beer. It really is. So anyway,
Vinny, he's been doing it for a while, man. Vinny.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty cool just to watch the more like the proliferation of wild ales in this country, though. Like I think it's a lot of people have really taken it, and there's a lot of breweries that are doing a lot of really good stuff, and all across the country too. It's side project. You have tons of good stuff near Denver, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Allagash, and you got Oxford. You got a bunch of places up in Maine. Oxbow is always doing good stuff.
Oh, Oxbow! I mean, I can't believe none of us had any Oxbow on here on these lists.
Well, I actually,
I was gonna say that. I mean, Oxbow is great. I love Oxbow. I mean, it's just but there's tons of good stuff coming out of America.
Yeah, I know.
So
we did a sour thing. Yeah. It wasn't wild ales, but it was something or whatever. And we had, it was when we did, and you were on. We did our favorite Maine breweries or whatever, and Portland or whatever. And I had Oxbow on there, so I wanted to. And of course, Allagash was on there as well. But we've had Allagash on the show, so throw them a little.
I mean, Uncle Ebenezer's Pub or whatever. That's like the best fucking bar ever.
Yeah.
Have you guys
and Navari Res
is a good one.
Navari Res up in Portland.
Yeah, the Res is good. Yeah. The food's fantastic.
Oh yeah, crazy good.
Cool.
We're just up there last August. Samurai and I. Matt was not there.
Yeah.
Oh.
You were in Florida. You were in Florida.
Up there like the year before that, though. So
you were in Florida diving while we were in Portland drinking. So.
Diving and drinking is pretty much what
diving and drinking, exactly. So.
Wait, I only did it at the same
time. Never at the same time.
Not at the same time.
You gotta have a bad time.
Exactly. So I just wanted to bring one thing up too. Matt mentioned it before. You mentioned it before. You like using food and elements in beer and everything else, and that's amazing to me because you worked at Carton. So.
No, I mean it makes sense. I mean, it's just it's what you eat. They go hand in hand. So it's
absolutely 100%.
People have been doing it for thousands of years.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So
it sounds like the beers that you're going to make are going to be.
I feel like we have so much more to talk about, but I have to leave you guys.
I know. Here, let's throw up before you sign off, though. Let's throw up. This is the logo. There you go. Wild.
I like that. There we go.
There you go. Yeah. APNJ. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Doug, we wish you the very best. We know you're probably going to straight kill it there. Like you said, this is right in your wheelhouse, and we can't wait to be there and try some of your wares, and wish you the best, brother. Kick some butt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I'll let you guys know if anything taste testing or soft opening. Yeah.
Yeah, keep
Cheers.
keep us posted, and we'll come down and help you decide what ones taste good and what ones taste better. How's that?
I like that attitude. My man.
All right.
All right, John and Matt, it's been a pleasure. Namaste, and you guys have a great night.
You too.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Take it easy.
Adios.
Yeah, man. Enjoy.
Cheers.
Cheers. As he Doug had to leave the show because he had a tennis date, so he had to go play some tennis. So I think Venus or Serena, one of them was there tonight. So I'm not quite sure exactly where. But now he's got tennis every Tuesday night. So he did take time out. That's why we started a little bit earlier tonight, and got it going for him so we can get him in on the show. But we want to do that. We want to get everybody aware of what's going on in Asbury Park now. It's sad to see Dark City go, but it's also great to see Last Wave making the jump over into Asbury Park. Not instead of Last Wave, in addition to Last Wave, and opening up Wild Air Beerworks, and it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. They're going to have a great venue up there. It's going to be busy up there in Asbury Park for them. I think
it's great. It's nice to see that space getting used, though.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah. It was a shame, driving past there and just seeing it closed up. I felt so bad, but one thing led to another. I mean,
it's COVID. COVID definitely affected a lot of things, man. So
it definitely did.
It is. I'm kind of happy in some ways that we didn't have more breweries in the state fall that way. So
yeah. No, that it sucks for them, and it did affect a few others because a few others have closed. They did try to make a go of it. Unfortunately, Dark City never actually got to reopen. But the others did, and they tried to make a go of it, but they just couldn't hack it. And then rising rents and the space of square footage is that's going up too. I mean, the price of everything is skyrocketing across the board. So it's difficult. So
I think it's a great plan by Bert and Nick too, to have something that's kind of a completely different focus. And
sure,
you'll have two breweries, but the identities of those breweries are going to be very distinct and very different, and serve different product portfolios, and that's going to be super cool. It's going to be super cool to have either way you want those beers. But like I said, if anyone hasn't been to Suarez or had Suarez beers, like that, they're one of my favorite breweries. Just it's one of those things where the beers are so simple at heart, but they're just so incredibly well done. And for a light beer, 5% to have that much complexity just from grain and hops and a little bit of yeast character or wild yeast character, whatever, it's amazing. They're such amazing beers. They're like the beers that they're more than just the sum of their parts. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah, fair enough. That's for sure. Yeah, they really are. And I think there's going to be a lot of that in Wild Air for them. They're going to be doing a lot of that. I couldn't help but think a couple of times, they're doing the sours over there, doing the wild ales over there. It's going to be spontaneous fermentation and, their fooders and everything else. So, I couldn't help to keep thinking that it was like Last Wave's area too, for Two Roads kind of thing. But kudos to them, and I couldn't be happier for all three of those guys, Nick, Bert, and Doug.
What a great combination there. I think Doug is the right guy for that, and Nick and Bert are good businessmen, and I think going after him and getting him for that project was just a fantastic move. It's gonna
that was genius for that, because that just like it was two gears that fit perfectly together, and
it just meshed.
Exactly. So all right, anything else we want to put out there?
I think we're good for today. Other than Dave, don't drink too much wine, and be ready to have some beer again with us soon.
Yeah, if you're on the plane's Wi-Fi and you're watching this or rewatching this or whatever, so we missed you on the top three, but I'm sure I'm sure if you watch this before you actually do your live broadcast from Germany in about 10 hours or so, 11 hours, 12 hours, whatever it is, you'll give your top 3 during that. So while you're drinking Aventinus from Tap 6 at Schneiderweiss. So,
jealous.
Yeah, very jealous, very jealous, very jealous.
That's on the list.
I told him too last week. He asked me too. He says if we wind up running out of time or get stuck or the plane's late or delayed or we can't get the transfer and we can't get over there and we don't go, he says, as jealous as you are going to be happy that I don't get there? I says, absolutely not. I'll be upset for you that you didn't get there. I'm still jealous, but I'll be upset for you that you didn't get there.
Yeah. Damn right.
So exactly.
So
anyway, all right. On that note, we will wrap up for today. I want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30 Eastern Time, that is. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful Easter if you do celebrate. And drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Gotcha.